There is no more electrifying and polarizing figure in American politics today. Sarah Palin commands the attention of so many fans and detractors. Her husband and small children draw more Google searches than the rest of the Republican field combined. Long out of office, she still manages to alter national discussions with a single tweet. But can this heat last all the way to 2012? Tonight, ABC's Robin Roberts travels to Alaska to spend time with Palin, talk about how far she's come, and what might be next.
Go that way and go straight, really fast!
In her new book, America by Heart, Sarah Palin writes that the three pillars of her political philosophy are family, faith, and flag, in that order.
Here, let me drive!
Here in the wilderness on a snowmobile with her daughter Piper, you get the family part. Palin seems truly in her element.
Okay, go.
My first time on the Palin property in Wasilla, I just had to ask.
Where's Russia?
I tell you,
where is
it's not that far away.
And not to get political on you, but it's why we need a strong missile defense system.
Turn this car around.
Sarah Palin is certainly enjoying herself these days. She energized crowds rallying for Tea Party candidates.
Thank you.
And then supported her daughter Bristol on Dancing with the Stars.
All guns blazing.
And even now, starring in her own reality show, Sarah Palin's Alaska.
Dang it.
Along the way, she's evolved an identity that goes something like this. Sarah Palin, the celebrity politician who's just like us. The question is whether it's working for her. New poll out showing that if the election were held today and you were the Republican candidate and President Obama was the Democratic, that he would win by 22 points. You understand that a lot of GOP members are concerned about you having the nomination because of polls like this. When you see numbers like that, and you know that is a feeling among even the GOP, how do you respond?
Well, speaking of competition, that's what competitive primaries are all about. You're out there, you're debating your ideas, and you're getting your message across, and you're talking about your record, and you're setting the record straight, and you talk about your intentions for this country. I'm all for contested primaries. So a poll number like that, it's like, ooh, yeah, that didn't look really pretty today, but a primary is months and months in the process, and there are thankfully many debates. And if I were to participate in that contested primary, I would be in it to win it.
Hi, how are you?
And perhaps everything Palin's done this year is part of a bigger strategy. She's penned that new book, an attempt, she says, to write down what she thinks America is all about. She's certainly been doing her homework and comes to our interview versed in the details and very well prepared to take aim at the president.
And he said, in fact, even on ABC News in '09, on March 10th of '09, he said to ABC News that he would be the one to reform the abuse of the earmark process.
So the big question, will she run for president? Who knows? I don't think she even knows, but she's not afraid to. That is for sure. I don't know if you've heard this, but there's talk that you might run for president. I don't know if you've heard that. It gets bandied around from time to time. Where are you in your thought process and decision making?
It's a prayerful consideration, because obviously the sacrifices that have to be made in order to put yourself forward in the name of public service, it's brutal. So my consideration is for my family, whether this would be good or not good for the family, whether it would be good or not good for the debate and the discourse in this country, and just trying to get the lay of the land and see who else is out there who would be willing to make those sacrifices.
But there has to be a time frame of some sort, doesn't there?
Well, yes, there has to be, and I would say it's still months down the road, though. Other folks can jump in, and that kind of helps you get that lay of the land. But my decision won't be made for some months still.
Last month, Barbara Walters sat down with President Obama and asked him if he thought he could beat Sarah Palin in an election.
Mr. President, you will not tell me that you think you could beat Sarah Palin.
What I'm saying is I don't think about Sarah Palin.
Okay.
You mentioned him a time or two in your book, and he was asked if he thinks of you, and he says no. Do you think he should?
Oh, not necessarily. I think that the values that I hold are shared by a lot of people. So if not me, he certainly should be listening to someone who maybe is not part of the Beltway, is not part of either political machine, and I'm not. You know, that's why the GOP isn't real enamored with me, those in the establishment. I've been kind of fighting that establishment for the last 20 years because I'm not one to just go along to get along. That's why I have such heartburn over watching some of these compromises going on in Congress. It's like, come on, you guys, we're expecting you to do better.
Now with the House of Representatives back in the hands of the Republican majority, Sarah Palin has her own ideas on what's on most everyone's mind: taxes. President Obama has, though, reached out to Republicans for the tax cuts, taken a lot of heat from his own party. As it stands right now, this current tax bill, are you for it?
You know, this is one case where I'm really thankful that the president flip-flopped, and all of a sudden he realized that, oh yeah, the rich, 70% of the job creators are considered, I guess, the rich in this country. They will see an extension of the Bush tax cuts, which really means that they won't see the tax hikes that many people in Congress had been perfectly fine in kind of cramming down those job creators' throats had this not happened. I think that there could have been an even better deal struck. I would rather see Congress just hold off on this. President Obama, just hold off on this. Let the new Congress be seated, and then let's do it right.
You said flip-flop. It's compromise. And that's part of the thing that the American public has been saying. Can't you guys get together? Bipartisanship. And then, he will be accused, as you have done, as saying flip-flop. I mean, how do you reach compromise if you don't?
I would say, though, that it is a flip-flop in his position on tax, because he was so adamant about not allowing the tax cut extension to take place for job creators, and then all of a sudden, one day, he was fine with it. So, again, I appreciate that he, you could term it compromise, I term it flip-flop. I was thankful that he did.
She believes what she talks about as her pioneering upbringing has prepared her to run if she decides to do so, and that the last 2 years have actually made her stronger. Why she thinks that, when we come back.